one. What the hell? I never say that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Too much. We had the side quest.
They mean the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So, hello, everyone, boys and girls, children of all ages, everyone out there, every kind soul, every zombie. Welcome to GV 675. I am all hail the Queen, Trasnell. I'm joined by.
Hey, I am the Adam Hart caster, Dylan West.
I am the cool Taylor Field.
There you go. So yeah, it's been a bit since we did like an official episode. Lots of episodes on the feeds right now. The feed is just if you watch this episode and you see the amount of zombies that are there, that's like our podcast feeds right now. Between Peacemaker, between obviously there's side quests on Monday with YouTube, but then we did a little bonus episode me and Dylan today from the reaction, which is tons of fun. If you're into Marvel, check that out. It's the last thing on the feed. It's the reaction to the Insomniac Marvel trailer. Tons of fun breaking that down, and I'm excited. We got hopefully a date, well, you never know video games
Date-ish.
movies nowadays. Yeah, exactly. It's within arm reach, but we got that. Like I said, we got Peacemaker. Alien Earth just ended, so check out that finale review. We will have the Tron retrospectives are early right now for Patreon producers. It'll be going on for the rest of Patreon patrons later on this week and next week. Unless you're listening to this, John, I will message you. We had to bump White Man Can't Jump thanks to Amazon because we will be doing Gen V. And then Trash Toy this week I'm going to review one battle after another, and lots of good stuff on the feed. Subscribe. Thank you everyone that does. Everything you need to know is down below. Thank you to the Patreon producers: Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, Galazme69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, Cocktail Clay, Jonathan O.H., and Sam Green. For everyone that is on Patreon right now, you have about, I think, 2 days, and you could submit, speaking of spooky stuff and zombies, you can submit your Halloween retrospective that you'd like us to review, and then the producer is going to vote on that this weekend. So lots of really good, juicy, all the picks. I'm like, some years you're like, oh, I don't know. Either it's like, I don't know, I have much to say, or it's like, oh, I've just seen that recently. All the picks right now are really good, so look out for that. And lots of good stuff coming on the feeds in September, October. Well, September's almost done. And then I will start pimping this out now. I think next week we're going to officially have graphics and events going out there, but just around the corner, Extra Life, November 8th. We're going 24 hours for BC Children's Hospital. I know our goal. I think we'll just set the goal as usual. The 2,500, we'll do that. We haven't discussed a start time, but I guess we should probably talk about that. I'm probably going with the 10 a.m. I feel like 10 a.m. worked good with us with GV Day. I feel like the 9 a.m. we're running. There's a lot of errors and a lot of, especially depending whose place is, because if it ends up being at my place with the kids, 10 a.m. give me a lot of clear time. So for now, we'll just say November 8th, but that's likely the time. And we're gonna go 24 hours. Gonna be tons of games. There'll probably be trivia. There will be, funny enough, the little inside scoop. I do need you guys to play chess for a particular. I'll just say it here. I need some chess scenes for a movie. So I thought, why kill two birds with one stone? I'm do some chess rematches and get a camera on those, because it's just the hands. It's just the hands I need. Doesn't matter who the hands are. So you guys will literally see us film part of a GV movie on Extra Life. So we can do that.
Love it.
We got the GeekVerse Gauntlet Cup coming back, where Kirkland's going to defend his crown, where at least us four are playing. If anyone else agrees, I'm going to leave it a mystery that day. I'm not even going to tell these guys. Oh, maybe I'll tell them. But I got the feed in the fire of who might be joining. It's all in person, people. No one online or anything like that. But competitors, you never know who might pop by in the GeekVerse Gauntlet.
Bunch of patrons. Maddie.
Sure.
Cocktail Clay.
Anybody's in Kelowna on November 8th, you're automatically entered the GeekVerse Cup. Easily. Hit me up if you're in Kelowna coming up soon. And then, we're going to be doing GM mode with these three boys. Lots of good stuff. So check that out. November 8th. All the donations go to BC Children's Hospital. They're tax deductible. I will get a link out there probably this weekend. It's not even up and running, but I just want to start promoting it because it's just time's moving fast. I saw it and I was like, man, that's a month away. But you know what's not moving fast is Marvel Zombies, because we got this episode years ago and announced this was coming out, and even the producer said this show was ready to go a year ago, but they decided just to hold it for, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, because that's the way Marvel is right now. So, Mr. Musk, what did you think? Obviously, non-spoiler thoughts before we break down this 4-part event series. So, Marvel Zombies, what did you think about this?
Yeah, so I obviously this is kind of in the same lineage as What If. This is like a spin-off of the spin-off, if you will, for MCU sort of stuff. And in case anyone, forgets, I'm kind of mid on What If. It's not really my favorite part of the MCU and this recent Marvel stuff. There's some great episodes for sure, but overall, it's not necessarily my favorite. But I did really like the zombie episode from, I guess that would have been season 1, right? All the way back, back at the start. Yeah, so that was one of my favorite episodes. And so, yeah, I've been looking forward to this, but also kind of just forget about it because I feel like they didn't promote it a ton. It's kind of not really connected to anything else. It's sort of just a random drop, and then here we go, 4 episodes, just kind of dropped at the same time, like get it out there and move along. It seems like maybe their plan with it. But I had a really good time with this, pretty much consistently across all of them. I think the last episode kind of drags a little bit for me, just like it takes a bit long with the certain battle sequence going on there. It's good for the emotional stuff as well, but that was the only part when I was like checking the watch a little bit. Also, I had just binged like 2 hours of this, so I'm like, hey, is this where are we at this point? But I think the structure of this was cool. At first, I was wondering, like, why is this a 4-part thing, and why not just like an animated movie? Because it's about the same length as that, and you're releasing it all at once. I think it makes sense why they did that based on like seeing the way they broke it down, the way they broke up the stories. And Travis has some commentary.
That could be that, but the other reason is technically they would not be allowed to put Spider-Man if it was classified as a movie. I know that sounds dumb, but the producer confirmed that this week that's why it's a series.
What if it was a 2-hour-long special presentation?
Yeah.
What is that? What is legally a special presentation?
They never said about a special presentation. I don't know.
I have to imagine that would be like Sony
That's
would
a
be
short
coming to their
film.
door with a lawsuit. Yeah.
So that's another reason why it was
Good
split up,
point.
because Spider-Man would be he'd be out, Norman, if he was in
Yeah,
there,
which could have Spidey in here, but like I don't know if they really wanted to do a movie. Like I guess that's tricky because he was from the What If episode, so you kind of have to have that continuity to some extent. Anyway, I did really enjoy this. I think there's a lot of really fun character drops in here, some fun team ups. We've talked a lot about like the Young Avengers, what's going on there. You kind of get a mini Young Avengers in here. You get more Thunderbolts, big year for the Thunderbolts, so I really enjoyed some of that stuff. Some other surprise characters, some weird, more kind of what if scenario type characters that are really fun. One in particular that, of course, stands really strong here. Really fun action. Like feels like the most R-rated we've gotten in the MCU, other than like I guess Deadpool, Wolverine, in terms of like some crazy stuff going on. Of course, it's animated, but you're still getting some really, really gross, brutal scenes, blood everywhere and all that. So I like that they kind of didn't hold back at all. So yeah, I had a really, really enjoyable time with this. I feel like it will be pretty rewatchable too. I could see myself just putting these episodes on in the background every once in a while. And I one thing I did not think to do was rewatch that What If episode recently. So that isn't super fresh on the noggin, but I think if you take that, mix it with these 4 episodes for a nice little like 2.5 hour long zombie romp in the Marvel world, like that's a great thing. So I overall had a pretty good time with it.
What about you, Mr. Field?
This was just, it blew my expectations out of the water. It was just that long, stagnant period of time where I was just, I wanted it, but I was just getting less and less excited because it was just taking forever. And here we are, and holy smokes, it was really, really entertaining. That's one of the highlights of What If. Like, and I enjoy What If a lot, and I wish that we got more of the zombie stuff and sprinkled throughout other What If seasons, but it was just contained to the one season, that one episode. And getting the follow-up here finally was worth it. I really liked it. It caught me off guard because I felt like, okay, we've got these characters here, and then all of a sudden you get deaths thrown in. It's like, holy shit, you don't see it coming, and then it just doesn't hold back, and you get more deaths and more other, sad moments. A couple characters that, maybe they weren't the highlight for me back in the day or presently at times too, because they're just, I don't know, they're a little bit eccentric, flamboyant for MCU heroes or underdogs, but then a lot of moments in here, he I'll just say it, he knocked it out of the park for me in this. Like, I really, really liked it, and I think that's just a character that Marvel has kind of gotten a little bit better at handling, and not just going like a full, one of my least favorite versions of him is in that What If episode with Winter Soldier, where it's just like, this is just way too much.
It becomes like parody of himself, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and he does great in Thunderbolts. I really like him in that, and again in here, he's fantastic. So he's definitely a highlight for me, and yeah, just all the zany crossovers that they do. It's just I would have loved to have seen this in What If this was like an actual live action movie. It would have been probably not do the greatest in theaters. I don't think a lot of people would have been
This would be a
running to
very
see
expensive
this.
movie as well.
It'd
I
be
think
very
to do that.
expensive, and
So yeah.
I don't think it's making $1 billion at the box office. But damn, I would have loved it. This would have been such a cool collectible piece of cinema if we got this in a live action film. Holy shit! But lastly, I shout outs to them getting all these the original character actors to just come back and throw their voices. I know there's obviously a few new additions in here because you got some new characters and whatnot, but yeah, it was very, very cool, very, very nice. And again, each arc you get into, each episode, it's like, oh, they're introducing these characters, which I know I saw the trailer, but a lot of it was a big surprise when we got certain groups and teams that were featured and showcased, and just all of a sudden, oh, look at this thing appearing over here, City by the Sea. It's like, well, this is kind of a cool thing, but we'll break into that in the spoilers. So
Nice. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it like a little less than you guys. Yeah, it's something I will rewatch, but I probably won't be running to rewatch. I think I agree with you, Dylan, where the end it gets a little bit meh. And I wish, and this is like a common criticism always for the MCU, but I guess I just wish with this special there was like a little less comedic beats. I know the characters are still in the MCU, but I think with this being a what if and it being the zombie apocalypse, you really could have had some fun. A couple of years ago, obviously, we got Werewolf by Night, and he's not bouncing around the MCU right now, but that was like a very dead serious special, right? I would have enjoyed, there's just some moments in here that I just didn't. I guess maybe I just didn't enjoy the jokes. I didn't like that. The animation looks pretty good for the most part. Obviously, like this style, I feel like it ebbs and flows. Sometimes it looks really good, and sometimes there's a lot to be desired there. But there's a couple of moments, especially it's in last episode, action wise, that looked really good. So no, I think this was a fun Halloween watch. I don't know if it matched my excitement for when it was first announced and all this waiting. Like I think I was just expecting something a little more different, where maybe it felt too much like with What If, and I think I like What If a lot more than other people. Well, I guess I'll defend the first season a lot, and third season no. Second season I'd have to think about. I think there's half a good season there. Then we get into like mumbo jumbo multiverse Avengers stuff where it's like I just want like the one-off stories, so but no, this is great as far as like obviously could be a movie, but it is just a movie. It's a 2-hour movie. The episodes flow together like they're just cut in half, which is completely fine. It is funny where we'll have to maybe return back to this conversation once we see Doomsday and Secret Wars and where we're at the end of all things, because this feels like a movie, and obviously wouldn't have got zombies and a lot of these characters dying off, but these dynamics and these characters interacting, this feels like way overdue. This feels like, and it feels like an MCU we're not really getting, because we know Downey's coming back, and to me, like, all the big event should be, hey, it's Doomsday and all these characters together, where it's like, well, we got, James Marsden back as Cyclops. You're like, well, that doesn't really fit into what we've been doing here. And same thing like Young Avengers. Like, I feel like we can confidently say that there's a good chance that may just never happen, right? Like we've talked about, oh, is a movie or show? It's like that's just kind of quiet. So it's kind of fun where I think this episode shows that these characters, the same way the season 1 with What If was, that showed a lot of our main characters in different scenarios. This shows like the original blueprint of, these were going to be all the main players, and a couple of them are still around, like Florence Pugh, she's the main player, but like Shang-Chi's still rocking one movie, no other live action appearances at all. Same thing. Kate Bishop, she was in with the Marvel's post credit, so it's like, I'm trying to think out of this, I'd say Kamal, at least she did get a show and a movie, so they followed through with that. But I'd say Kamal and Florence Pugh and that, a lot of these characters just, if like look at Blade, right? This is the first MCU appearance of Mahershala Ali's Blade, and obviously he was voiced in Eternals, but it does feel like something we almost shouldn't be seeing in a way. So I like that. It does feel like a really big what if, not only just the zombies of, if all the movies from Phase 4 to 5 were fantastic and made $700 billion, these would have been your characters going forward. And that is kind of sad because I like some of these dynamics. So I like that this exists. So I did have fun with it. Maybe I just was hoping for a little bit more of a radical shift with a full 4 length, where I felt like we dipped a lot into like kind of regular MCU territory, which isn't bad per se. But yeah, I was just looking for a little different now, that especially because with zombies, I felt like, I can't remember, was that episode, did they say it was M-rated or not? Like, I felt like that was a more like kiddie version of Marvel Zombies, right? So with them saying, and don't get me wrong, there's lots of blood and guts here.
I don't remember it
but-
being like this.
No, so there's lots of blood and guts here. Don't get me wrong, but I thought when it was complete, like, hey, this is the M-rated thing, they would kind of maybe cut out a lot more of the. I'd say there's a lot of humor in here that could be the regular MCU family humor, right? But so yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I would recommend it if you're a Marvel fan. If you're looking for something for superheroes and Halloween to watch, I think this fits with Werewolf by Night and Doctor Strange and Blade and the Batman. Like, there's not too many like Halloween movies for superheroes, but they're there. The Halloween WandaVision episode, I guess. So got that
True.
going on. But anything else non-spoilers before we get into this? All right, so we will be right back after this first break. And we are back. How do we want to do this? We want to go part by part. We want to talk about specific characters arc. Where do we want to bring it?
I'd love to I just gotta get it out there on the table and just shout it out. Probably my second favorite character, Death Dealer. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, it reminded me of what they did to him, Shang-Chi, where he just like went out like a wimp,
But
his soul sucked.
His dynamic with Jimmy Woo, holy fuck, I loved and ate everything out of that bucket of chicken. It was so freaking good. I loved it. I loved it.
You did remind me. I'm sorry, folks. I will in the future. I guess I will have to. Maybe I'll watch this with the kids or do something else because I have to look at the death toll for our MCU draft because I'm sure we lost some points here and there. So yeah, I won't count the zombies dying again. Like they're already dead, but the characters that were alive, definitely some deaths were had. So look out. Maybe next time we do a.
And some of them
episode.
I mean, almost all of them are like kind of ambiguous if we just jump to like the ending of episode 4, but we'll discuss that on a future date, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I would classify the ambiguous still as alive. I wouldn't put any death on them, even though there's a couple that are. It was just that was the other thing too. I should have said non-spoilers, and now that they've said today, Brad Winderbaum, who's like the Kevin Feige of TV, said they plan to do like multiple seasons of 97, Spider-Man, and hopefully this. And that's another thing too, where I was like, oh, I wasn't really thinking of that. I went in this thing. This was gonna be like a one-off, literally 4-part event, and end it there. And I guess not jumping to the end, but I didn't love that ending with. I guess maybe if we get more, but if we never get more, I don't really love it.
I wonder how much, if there's any plan to do this in the future. Like obviously, you'd think that if they had it finished a year ago and have just been holding it, it feels like. Well, that's not a great piece of evidence towards them wanting to get this out the door, get the reaction, start working on the second season, and release that, and then also doing the classic 4-episode dump. Like this feels like the perfect kind of thing to do. Like one episode every week of October. There you go. But yeah, so I don't know how much I believe that we're gonna get any more of this, especially because What If is kind of done now too, right? Like they've officially kind of ended that. So I don't know if we're going back to this realm of animation, but. I guess to go back to the start from episode 1 a little bit, start at the beginning, as Kirkland likes to do, even though he's not here with us tonight. I think a really fun thing for me here is Young Avengers Champions, whatever you want to call it. We're just doesn't seem like we're getting that. Of course, around last Comic-Con or whatever, we had that Instagram account made or something, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's happening!"
And that trademark was filed.
The trademark, which has led to nothing yet. But I feel like this kind of seems like it would have been the plausible core of what the Young Avengers is: Riri, Kate Bishop, and Kamala. Obviously, the 3 Disney Plus TV show girls there, throw in some other characters in the mix, but just having them as a core dynamic was super duper fun. I really liked all of them, especially the Riri stuff's interesting. I wonder if that was part of the reason of kicking this back, is maybe they wanted Ironheart out first so people know that character better, but I don't know if that's what they were going for here. But then also having the Friday Iron Man robot with the teddy bear head as their kind of sentry, I thought was really, really fun. So I love their dynamic. I love the 3 of them. And then just, I guess generally a shout out to Kamala as the only one who kind of makes it all the way through here. Yeah. And we get a lot with her. She is great. She's so fun as that character. And obviously The Marvels isn't a great movie, unfortunately, for her. But I think this is a really great kind of return form in so to speak, and I think she got some really great scenes here and was a really fun. Kamala's just a great protagonist character, even in the Avengers game, even in that
too.
the story of that game, just kind of
good,
centering around her. She is a good character to fill in that piece, and obviously Iman Vellani is really great at the performance of it. So yeah, I really liked that trio, even though it didn't last for too long.
Yeah, again, it shows some of the, because obviously there's tons of people that love Shang-Chi and would want that movie. I think it shows the untapped potential of, again, I think a lot of these things I understand some of the lack success of, but I feel like there's characters you don't just ditch, just because Incredible Hulk back in '08 performed poorly, they didn't just ditch the Hulk, right? And I hope that doesn't happen. But at the same time, like, why does Amon Vellani's like named on a chair? Like why is she not in Doomsday? And maybe she is, right? That could be, but at some point they still do have to pick and choose, and with that character. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. This dynamic again. I think we all were down for anything with Young Avengers or Champions. I'm always down for. I always said like I think it's a very risky movie when we got to the phase of movies not being for sure hits, right? So if you're looking at a pie chart, what should we greenlight as a movie? Maybe not, but the dynamics there, even Haley Steinfeld, who I wouldn't put on the level as Amon, she does phenomenal as Kate Bishop here. Like and even then too, I can't remember her name, but the Ironheart show is like just fine, but the actress that plays Riri Williams is the best part. She's very good. She's charismatic. She can be smart. She can be clever. She can be very funny. So it was great to see these ones together. Even I did not actually expect Kate to bite it in the first episode, which I did like.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is a what if scenario, but still, they're setting up. Oh, here are your main characters in this world, and then even though I found like her Pew in episode 2, I found like probably the more expensive actors and actresses seem to be going really early in the series. Like I just feel like Steinfeld probably is getting more paid than like Amon or Riri. Like if
on the set of Thunderbolts, they're like, "Hey, come into the sound booth for half an hour. Let's
we'll give
crush
you an
these
extra
Marvel
500 if you
zombies
just say these lines." Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you bet. Like, but no, I agree with you. That was a good trio dynamic. I honestly would have been fine. It's great to get all the other heroes, but if the 4-part event literally was just all 3 of them throughout the whole time, okay, add in Florence Pugh as well, I would have been set, like perfect, So, what about you, Tia? How are you feeling seeing maybe this is our only chance seeing the Champions or Young Avengers,
Yeah, and that's a shame. That's a shame. If live action could do as good a job as this 4-episode arc of just bringing these characters together and building up on their relationship to each other, then I have hope. But are they going to do that? I don't know, because it's just like I'm excited for Doom, I'm excited for all these other things, but I think that this story did a really good job at unifying all these characters. Ms. Marvel, Kate Bishop, and Riri Williams just all being together. Like I really, really unexpectedly enjoyed this dynamic. And when Kate Bishop ate it because Icarus and Captain Marvel were just like fighting each other.
That was
that
great. Yeah, and that's where again when I say it feels like a full Phase 4-5 MCU What If. It feels like at some point we probably would have saw Icarus and Captain Marvel interact in the future, but that's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Eternal characters, so that was a really cool send off of they show him and he's all broken like, oh, is that a zombie? No, he's just like a defactored, synthetic. And then like, what about that? Oh, that's a zombie. And the fact that Captain Marvel, I know they all have their powers, but there's something about a zombie having Captain Marvel powers that's real scary. As we saw, it did a lot of damage. Kate just dust when he went up against Captain Marvel, so
Yeah, I mean, like that even just that concept, that like world building of that there are like these 2 god power tier characters who are just like in this eternal battle, which means that this whole land is just strife with like these kind of endless storms that are just caused by 2 godlike beings. Like I love that, and having a little bit of a Eternals moment in there. I was not expecting that at all, especially if it's gonna be anyone, it's gonna be Kingo, of course. But like, no, we finally got someone different in here, even though he doesn't like speak, right? Like he's literally just battling, so it didn't necessarily need to be him or anything. But yeah, that was a really really cool little addition in there.
Yeah. What about anything in part 1? Also, I think is this where is it 1 or part 1 they find what could be the Hope, right? This little chip that's gonna send a message to space off. So we
have the whole battle at the Thunderbolts kind of not the Thunderbolts mansion, but I guess the
Shield base in Ohio.
What do you call them? Yeah, like that family. What are we calling them? What's her last name again?
Family in Ohio.
Yeah, remember the Shield base? They went to Ohio, and that's where
is that where it was?
Yeah, that's where.
I'm more interested in dealing with the family in Ohio.
Yelena, like that. Why I can't remember their name right now. That family.
Oh, the Natasha
the mom,
Romanoffs,
dad, the girls.
right?
The Romanovs, yeah, there you go. The Romanov base, I guess.
Right,
And
okay.
I didn't realize it was in Ohio. I missed that lore beat.
I forgot that too. I've only seen Black Widow once, so I I apologize on the Black Widow lore for everyone out there. And then they find this little device that can maybe be looked upon. I don't know. Like at first, at this point in the episode, they're not really saying what it is, but then they got to get it to somewhere, and it also has something to do with space.
The pilot that they took it out of in the Quinjet, that wasn't anyone particular, just
I
a
don't
random
think
guy,
so,
right?
unless okay, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's probably like that's so Steve Trevor's not Steve, like who's Steve Rogers' brother, you know, like maybe something like that. But no one I knew. And there's another
Yeah,
person
okay.
talking about Kingo. Well, there was no Captain Carter. I feel like she always pops up in these things too. And no Captain Carter in the show at all either.
yeah.
So yeah,
Was she in the first episode? Like the
I don't think she is. I
Original?
guess because Cap becomes a zombie, right?
Cap's
So I guess
in
she
this
would be
universe,
Captain
yeah.
Carter, but
That
she
makes
just always finds a way to end up in these things. You know, that's kind
speaking
of the meme,
of
so.
speaking of Cap, I love. I mean, I really enjoyed that fight. It just felt very Helm's Deepian, like that whole standoff there of like the zombies holding up the spears to like the first wave and stuff, and then you kind of get the second phase. When is that Abomination or like man thing?
That's definitely Abomination.
I think it's Abomination. Yeah.
Okay, just
I
like
think
the kind
deal's going
of
on.
fins and stuff made him look a little different than I'm used to seeing.
That's
him, I
his like
guess.
She-Hulk form, right?
Yeah, that's when he evolves. He gets that going on.
Gotcha.
there. Yeah.
But yeah, I loved him essentially being like the catapult in lieu of like not actually having a catapult, chucking things up on the roof, chucking half of a Captain America up there, him crawling through the vents. I guess that was, I presume, was Ghost, right? Who's kind of teleporting around doing all that fun
Yeah.
stuff. Another big year for Ghost. I thought those action sequences are really great. I like the look for Ghost as well. So that was a super duper fun battle. But then we haven't talked about him yet somehow. Fucking Blade Knight? Come on. I've never seen this guy before. Travis, have you encountered Blade Knight in your Marvel comic adventures in the day? Because
No,
I
I think
love this character.
The only thing, didn't they hint at this at the end of What If Season 3 when they were showing all those title cards, right? Wasn't that one of them?
I feel like
Blade
he
with
could have been.
I think
Khonshu?
he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
that's interesting. That's smart.
And I'm sure it might have happened, but it hasn't. But yeah, no, that was definitely a scene stealer throughout. Even the voice actor they got, it wasn't Mahershala Ali, but it sounded close enough. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And yeah, man, again, more, you talk about the biggest lost opportunity in the or what is this, the multiverse saga, just seeing this Blade. And I remember there was this quote where Feige's like, well, we want to get it right. We don't want to just have him be, just a sword vampire guy. But it's like, you know what?
That's
Maybe
all
that
I
would have been
need.
okay. Maybe that would have been okay. Just a 7 out of 10. He's kicking ass. Because, man, this whole series Blade was really cool. Obviously, you couldn't play him with Khonshu, but he was really cool. That just feels like an OP character. Like a character you would not want to come up against,
Yeah.
When you get that scene where he's talking to Valkyrie and Khonshu just comes out, and
Yeah.
you forget that other people can't see Khonshu, and that whole dialogue that just cracked me up. But holy shit, yeah, when he faces off against Ghost and he's doing all these things and just his line drops, and yeah, just when he's talking with I think it was with Kamala. I could be mistaken, but anyways, someone's just like saying all this crazy shit, and he's just like, "Cool." Hence my nickname.
Yeah,
I
I
fucking
love
love that. It's
That was
so
a great
good.
line.
He had another line kind of like that too later on, but yeah, he's just so stoic and calm, and he's just so badass. I want to go watch the other Blade movies now.
I want to get the MCU Blade. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh, he's in Deadpool Wolverine as well, too.
Maybe I'll go watch Eternals. Just for that post credit.
Just go watch the
Icarus.
projects that we're sad about. Yeah. I don't know what I'll watch. I don't know. There's a lot to be sad about with the Phase 4 or 5 stuff, but I was trying to find like a good, like, man, I went to Wikipedia. The synopsises are massive long. It's almost similar to those Spider-Man ones we had, Dylan. And then I go to IMDb, episode 2, An Open Road, The Hunger for Flesh Rules. All. Like,
That's
it.
not good enough. Yeah.
No, that's not good enough. But then, yeah, in part 2, is there anything specifically? I know it might come up again because we're kind of a bit all over the place, but is there anything else specifically with episode 1 or part 1?
Take me to part 2.
Okay. In this part, they, obviously we lost Riri. She was our first victim. Again, crazy to me. Well, actually, no, we lost Riri and Kate. That was a crazy just 1-2 punch, and then they pull. I feel like there's, I don't know, 5 to 8 scenes of Miss Marvel being pulled away somewhere yelling no. I'm not saying it's a negative.
Are we sure Riri is officially dead? I mean, she injected herself in the arm and she died off screen. So.
And I mean, she's there at episode
yeah.
4, I guess. So.
Well,
at the end with the
reality
whole, like,
reality thing, right?
actually, I guess you're right that I actually don't think. I don't think she would.
I think she's
I don't
alive.
think she is dead. I think she's alive. Yeah, and that's somebody that if someone has Riri, I wouldn't count it against them because
Unless she's
And
not
the
on
Iron
my
Suit.
roster, and then she died, and someone
The
has to lose that.
the Iron Friday went
might
back
be
and
alive.
helped her, right? So she's got Friday there too. So I think there's a
I
chance.
lost one owner. I need to get another. But no, and I think because
Yeah.
when Miss Marvel was going in and out, seeing like the zombies and real life zombies, real life Riri was there. So I think she's the one to snap out of it. So I would count that as Riri is still alive. Because yeah, you're right. She did inject herself that, but she's not on the rest of the series, right? Obviously, she's presumed dead at this point. They meet it with some other people, and then at this point, the kind of the main crux of the episode is Zemo and his second in command, John Walker, aka U.S.
Yeah.
agent, have a
Gets
submarine.
fucked up.
Yeah, John Walker was not long for this world, unfortunately, and he just had a gun the whole time. He couldn't do anything. So I guess this is John Walker with no super soldier serum, though, right? Because like Steve Rogers was still Cap, he became a zombie, and I don't think at that time they would have had time to be, hey, let's like
Couldn't
get a
tell
super
ya.
soldier serum
Well, that's
going.
true.
So
I don't know.
I think he's just a regular dude. So I forgot to mention, it's kind of a bunch of characters coalescing because we get an opening scene in San Francisco, which is Sung-Shi and Katie, but it's before like the first movie takes place. So that hasn't happened in this timeline because she doesn't even know that he can fight people. And then I was very excited when Wen-Wu, aka the Mandarin, showed up. I was like, oh, this is going to be a really interesting character in this dynamic. He does the great hero father play, saves his son, makes sure. Sung-Shi gets bit in the arm, starts to turn into a zombie, but then he throws the rings, and that kind of acts as some sort of kind of stoppage. I thought he was just going to cut off his arm, but no,
Device,
some device to stop it, but then Wen-Wu gets him out of there with, like Taylor was mentioning,
I feel like Wen-Wu didn't really try to survive, though.
Oh, it went out very easily, I was going to say. It's just like, foolish son
Remember
of a
your mother.
Yeah, it's almost he saw the world. He's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. You know, this is too much
Yeah,
going
maybe.
on there. But yeah, so we get Sung-Chi and Katie and Death Dealer. They go to the submarine. Florence Pugh and Red Guardian, they go to the submarine. Miss Marvel, Blade, all of them, they meet there. And yeah, Baron Zemo's great idea is we're going to stay in the sub because they can't get us here. And then Zemo on the surface seems to be a very caring, understanding, almost Captain America-like leader, giving big speeches about all those we lost, and obviously later
Man.
on, so we revealed that not so much the case, you know.
Yeah, the Civil War music that pops in when he's like doing his stuff,
Yeah.
man. Because since go to our last Marvel ranking, that's still my favorite Marvel movie, MCU movie. Man, to get that music, those music stingers in there, really was working for me. So that was a fun surprise. And he's another one of those characters that's just like around all the time, like just always
Yeah.
popping up again. Falcon and the Winter Soldier here. He's just he's always kicking it.
And still need more of him for me. You know, I always see this character, and I still feel like the potential is not even fully matched yet with Baron Zemo, because that's also because Daniel Bruce is such a great actor, right? But
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's another thing that caught me completely off guard with him just appearing and leading the City by the Sea and all that. But the idea of using the raft in
Yeah.
this sense,
Yeah,
that was really cool. I really liked that. Yeah, so I think it was sweet, and the whole setup with Namor as well was just terrifying
Oh, yeah, I
and very
forgot about
cool
that.
to see him popping off in there. And yeah, that was just it was claustrophobic and isolated and freaky, just going down into the ocean like that. It was really cool to kind of guess. At this point, we're just getting all these different fronts when we're dealing with zombies, and I really, really like that dynamic. And Zemo just didn't disappoint. I for sure thought that once they got into that escape pod, they were gonna just toss him out because. I mean, the fucking guy was trying to just betray these heroes, and there were so many people on that raft that all died. Oh my gosh, just brutal. But yeah, they had good food there, that's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
better food than people in episode 3, which we'll
Oof.
get into. But
yeah, that was
I-
great.
Jimmy Woo as well. That's the name of Randall Park's character,
Yeah.
right? Another great addition here. I always love his energy. He, 8 episodes later on, he had a very, very quick death. I felt like, man, I feel like he maybe deserved a bit more of a.
He had a joke death
meaningful
too, because his head like popped up and he was all
Yeah.
like, you know.
But I thought he was super fun. Him and Death Dealer, like that little dynamic was great. And then later on, him and Red Guardian was another dynamic. I think he just has a good dynamic with everyone. So he was a fun addition in there as well. I want to go back to the start of the episode because I also love the little Mad Maxian sequence where they're driving down the open road. They got their Mad Max vehicles. The music's playing. We get it's not even really much of a battle because it's just like the hero team like popping off and like suffering like no casualties. I don't think, right? Like they just kind of clear out these zombies. But I really, or I guess the scrolls, yeah, the scroll zombies, that whole sequence.
Yeah, that was
So
fun.
I like the visuals of that, and like the little death dealer moment when he just doesn't seem interested in this fight, but then just quickly kind of hucks that shuriken from the side. It looks like he's about to like smoke a cigarette or something, but he just like throws a shuriken instead. So yeah, that whole sequence was really fun as well.
Yeah, no, there's some good stuff in here. And how do you think they got to Namor originally, right, to become a zombie? Because when they are, because it's a koi, because I can't remember if they reveal in episode 1. If not, I would say reveal in episode 2, because 3 there's like a twist. They reveal that Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, is like the zombie queen. She's controlling them all, whatnot. And then Okoye seems to be her right woman. But they are standing on a dock, Okoye and all the zombies, so it seems like they can't go in the water. But obviously I know because Namor can breathe, all different. But still, like, how did they get to him? Did he pop up, I guess, on land, and that's how they happened to get to him? Did a couple zombies take a big
That's
gander
plausible
down to get to
because he
him?
does come to land every once in a while, right?
He does.
Fly around.
So he's just coming out go stop at, I don't know, get some Krispy Kremes, and then just gets
Yeah,
hoarded.
I mean they don't have that down below, right? Down
They
in,
don't. We don't have that
Bikini
here.
Bottom, so.
I mean,
I bought 3 boxes. They're coming to Kelowna. Emily was not happy with me, but I bought 3
Three?
boxes.
Three boxes?
Because you know what happened? When I
Fuck.
hear what happened, I would be fine with 1 box. And when I bought them, Emily had never had them, and she's like, "Oh, those look fine." And then she tried one, and then really enjoyed them. And now I also have 5 kids, so it's like if I'm gonna get
How
at
many?
least-
How many in a box?
I feel like it's probably 6.
That's why you have so many kids, so you can justify getting 3 boxes
Yeah.
of Krispy.
Oh, you're not gonna eat that?
18 donuts. 5, and the twins
Yeah, but
don't
if everyone
count.
has,
I mean,
if
the
everyone
twins
has
aren't eating them.
2, if everyone has, but I said family of 5. That'd be a family of 7 then, Taylor. Family of 5 is still me, Emily, and the 3 other girls. You forget.
How many is that? Everyone has 2.
If everyone has 2,
do
that's
the math.
10. So that's only 8 left over, and I'm gonna have more than 2. So
How many did you have?
I haven't got them yet. October 4th.
You're like
Oh,
you're like
okay.
Red Guardian. Your plate's just stacked to the gills
Yeah.
with all these.
Oh,
donuts on.
exactly, yeah. So I guess that's probably what Namor came up, looking for some Krispy Kreme, and then, because there is a lot of them, which we forgot to mention too. Yelena's Natasha's fake mom had some device for a while that controlled the zombies, which I
Right.
thought was a really cool moment when they pulled up to that base and all the zombies are just there waiting. And at first I thought, are they cut out cardboards, or they like what is going on here? But then they all moved and they're all active, so I like that. But of course, until the queen showed up, kind of overrode that, and then Okoye just they didn't even eat her though. Okoye just skewered her into a wall. So we forgot to mention she also perished. Whatever that Rachel Weisz's character's name is.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
And also shout out to forgot about this in the like San Francisco section where we're hanging out with Aquafina. I always forget her character name, and Shang-Chi.
Katie.
Yeah, and then we off in the distance see like the Pym Lab, and that's just making a bunch of zombies and people, just also
Yeah.
some humans, just giant form to throw that in the mix. And like that, yeah, that one shot when Wenwu just like throws his rings up and like just headshots through that guy's head. It's like, god damn, this show is nuts, and I love it. And like Blade 2 ripping up some people in some just totally savage ways.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I really like seeing all that stuff.
Blade was going hard. I feel like I don't know if they would ever. They wouldn't. But the same way that Marvel Alliance 2 adapted Civil War, I'd love it if Marvel Alliance 4 did that, where they adapted like the Marvel Zombies route, and because you just get a
That'd be
horde of
sick.
enemies, and I just feel like the skins, everything you could play as a zombie type. That would be a joyous experience, but I think that's too bold. for them
The
to
boss battle potential too. Like I'm
yeah.
like just touching upon episode 3 before we get there. Like when you have like Spider-Man and Black Panther versus Thanos, zombie Thanos, and just the way
Yes.
like the platforms are there and you jump around. Thinking that would be a sweet boss battle in a video game. So I'm there for it if they ever do it.
So down.
But yeah, so they get some sort of signal that something's on the way. We know it's Namor, so they... Oh, I want to say this before I forget, too. They try to do some very quick. It didn't happen because she perishes in this episode, but some setting up of Shang-Chi and Yelena as a couple because...
Oh, yeah, I
yeah,
forgot
she's
about
like,
that.
oh, are you guys... they're like, no, we're just friends. We never do that. And she's like, oh, that's good news. And he's like, oh, okay. So...
Yeah, and then we didn't see Katie's reaction.
No. And
Which
we never
I
saw them really interact ever again about that because she perishes. So
yeah,
I
weird
wonder
touch.
if that was
Hint?
like a
movies.
or yeah,
We're
either
going there?
movies or was. I wonder at one point if they were like, "Hey, we're gonna put those two together." But then Thunderbolts happened. Now she's got Bob, so I think he's out of the running now. So I know it's not official, but I'm with everybody. There's some stuff going on
The
there.
depression bonding between
Yeah,
those two. Yeah,
exactly. Or she's in Spider-Man, right? Maybe she's gonna find herself a Spidey boy. So.
it's true. Yeah.
Or Spider-Man, I should say. He's a man now. But anyways, his idea is, hey, these people said they'd be around to save us no matter what. You go fight them. So he kind of feeds our kind of main characters to them. They do survive Namor. Some cool set pieces of Namor coming. And I think they did a great use. That's one thing where obviously they did in the movies, but with animation and Kamal's powers with this form of the crystals, looks so much better because they don't stand out. And I think they did some really cool things with them. I just love that moment where Namor is just like rocking towards him and he's just big shield, but then it's like he's pushing the shield down the shaft. So it's this. I feel like there's at least 3 instances where Kamal's holding the shield and something bad. Like in that moment, that happens this episode too when he goes to take a bite out of her hand and he gets the shield, but then he's slowly breaking it with his teeth. But then she just explodes his head.
That was sick.
Yeah, I thought with her powers, which I thought was kind of caught, but they didn't do the stretching. I thought they made him look really cool here, and like Taylor mentioned,
They did kind of that one
big.
big super punch stretch in episode 4.
Yeah, that's true. It's like a
and I also
remake
like
version.
I also like that we got her like shooting like hard light bullets as well at one point, like just doing the
At
whole
her
like,
idol.
thorn blast kind of thing.
When they killed Kate, she was like,
Yeah,
Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Yeah, I liked having just some different iterations of the hard light, and it looks much better in animation than it does in live action.
Yeah.
So that helps too.
yeah. And then they end, and Zemo is like, "Oh, I'll take you wherever you want." They're going to New Asgard, but Zemo was, I get, kind of had no choice, but back on the good side, I guess, for a little bit. But
And he's just like he's there and drops like a few jokes like, "I wish I was back on my boat, oh you idiots," and then like he doesn't have any powers really, or doesn't do anything. So when he's just standing there and inside all the Asgardians, like the base, and just gets ripped apart, doesn't get to do anything really.
no, see, because we lost John here, right before we get on the ship. U.S. agent, he got ripped in half, I think.
I thought no, he got ripped on the ship. I thought
in this episode, right? He doesn't make it episode 3.
No, he doesn't.
No. So, and then, Baron Zemo doesn't make that because I think now going to episode 3, that's when we lose him. We lose Jimmy because, like what Taylor was referring to, we get a flat, kind of where Marvel Zombies ended the What If episode, which was great, where Spider-Man goes, "Oh, we're on the way to a con to make a cure, and that would have been nice if that happened. And then we defeated Thanos. Well, that would have been nice if that happened." And kind of funny that they rerun Infinity War where Thor doesn't go for the head again. Obviously, it's a little bit different because it's a zombie. Yeah, so they ran that back. And, I wonder how the crowd, because I know there's a big crowd of people, and I think they're going to fix this in the reboot of the MCU, but are getting annoyed or upset that they haven't recast T'Challa because they want that character around. So the fact that T'Challa didn't speak at all, and Spider-Man's like, and his last words were Wakanda forever.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was like, I'm not saying it's not sad about Chadwick anymore, but I think someone can voice him in animations to be different. It's not like it's going to be a new like that, and that might. There's already rumors that are thinking about going that route, right? But it was weird that they didn't have an actor there. But really cool fight scene and opening here between Thanos and our heroes from last What If. So that was a good opener of this episode.
Yeah, definitely. Just once again setting up some big trauma for Thor to deal with, and for him to be kind of brooding and dealing with that, which we get a little bit later on, and thankfully like in a different way than the kind of fat Thor situation that we got, because that is one thing. It's fine, you can feel one way or whatever about it, but I think this is kind of something different, even if it's not as we don't dive quite as deep into his mental state, but it's kind of implied, and then you get like a nice battle out of it. But I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
Plus, you could also argue that there's just not that same amount of food that there was in the Endgame world, right? Like, I know we lost half of things, but it still was like a regular functionary world where I'm sure there was.
Well, I don't know. Baron Zemo's City on the Sea, they have quite a lot of food.
He was good, but we saw the food that Thor and his crew was rocking there, which I was surprised when they knocked and were looking for Thor. I did think Thor was dead, so I thought that was going to be the reveal, but as you said, that's not. They knock. There's a bunch of zombies just Plan the Apes skewered out there.
The fact that his body was like still there after Thanos hit him with the blast, I was like, oh, he's alive for sure.
That's fair. I wasn't sure which way we were going. I wasn't sure if he was going to be a zombie, which does does take place later on, but
Permanently scarred though, like the whole half of his
yes.
body is burned off pretty much.
Yeah, just gone. But they go in there, and it seems like obviously they're still trying to. Their plan is to get to space because they think now. I think at this point they've revealed or found out that the Nova Corps could help them with this, and I guess that's just still their plan. But when they get to this, Midgard or Asgard on Earth and whatnot, it kind of looks like a nice, as of right now, utopia. Everyone's drinking, have a good time. They have this massive stone wall, so it seems like you're good to go. And then, of course, everything's going fine. They're like, oh, yeah, we got all this food from Scarlet Witch. And at first, she comes in looking like a baby face. Like, oh, I've changed, healed myself, everything's fine. Nah, she's just pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. The food is all dead, zombie
nasty.
things. Yeah, all these zombies come out. The other people turn into zombies. Massive fight scene. Lots of deaths here. But thought it was great to have Olsen actually voicing the character because we haven't heard her since 2022. And I imagine she will be back for these next two. But a character that's extremely missed. And I get why she wanted to kind of take a break from the MCU when she did. She did a lot. But I think that's another multiverse character that just feels, man, if that character was around a bit more, I think that would help because I think a lot of people fell in love with that character after WandaVision, and they've just kind of been absent. I know they're in Doctor Strange, but in a very much different role. But yeah, she did not heal herself, or if she did, she's still very much on the bad side here, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I really liked that whole sequence. I think Valkyrie's a fun character to throw in the mix, kind of guiding that sequence along. And then I'm trying to remember where does the Camertage sequence come up? That's like before this, right?
I think so. That's another like time, like because they did that with San Francisco last episode, and that's this where it's like kind of a no.
Yeah.
Was it? It must have been because the opening was the Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, because it's when they go to space and then Camertage people save them. Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
so I was jumping ahead a little bit.
And remember when Spider-Man was telling the story, he was telling the story to the Camertage people, as I screwed that word twice. He was telling it to a bunch of kid sorcerers about what happened with Wakanda and Thanos, so that's how they tied that in. And we got that cool, like bison guy with the nose ring back.
I know. I'm glad that we
Strange,
finally got
too.
dialogue from him because we saw
Yes.
him in Multiverse, but everyone was disappointed that he just died randomly. Like we didn't actually hear
Did
from
he
him or whatever.
die? I couldn't remember if he died or not.
I think he died, or he just didn't say anything, and he was like in the trailers, and we're like,
Yeah, he
"Oh,
didn't say
I'm
anything,
excited to
yeah.
hear about this guy." And then he was just kind of whatever in here, but it was cool to see him nonetheless. So yeah, I liked that whole sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I thought Scarlet Witch was just very freaky, very terrifying as always, and just her motivations in here it's different because before she was after her children and now she's just after power and shaping the world right into this new image. So that's a different dynamic, but I like how it started where we get to see how things are going with Wakanda and all that and learn about just the fallout from Wakanda that's blocking out like the upper atmosphere, setting out signals in the space and all these different things. Just the world building aspect of this episode was really, really awesome. Yeah, and just getting to see the team that we were familiar with from the What If episode was really, really awesome. It was really nice to see Spider-Man popping in here. I really like that. And yeah, just them dealing with the Asgardians. Valkyrie was great, and like I said before, the whole Khonshu Valkyrie chatter thing was really, really funny. But just that scene when Scarlet Witch just lifts the veil and everything that they're eating. And there was a brief part where it felt a little peculiar, but yeah, just when you see it, it's all the zombie body parts, the brains and the arms and all that shit. It's like, oh, this is disgusting. And they would never, I can't see them. It surprises me that they did this because I don't feel like Disney and Marvel would have done something like this, but it gives me hope that maybe there's some good storytelling still in the future where they take risks like this, and I hope that we could see they can kind of they don't have to do something this graphic, but just be bold to do these kind of story beats because that was just fucking crazy and I loved it. And all the Asgardians are puking and turning into her like god soldiers, which is just fucking wild and such a cool thought. Like just to be in that writer's room and to come up with that idea and be like, yep, stamp of approval, let's do it. Like, kudos to whoever greenlit that because it's so fantastic. And yeah, everything that's just with Kamala and her being like this chosen one that Scarlet Witch is like needs to get more power or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm digging that. So I think they did a fantastic job with this episode.
This keeps happening to Wanda. You know that happened to Doctor Strange with America Chavez, and now here it's always some little girl with a power that she needs to like soul suck or whatever and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know in live action stuff. I think too, just because it's like animation, that's why they feel well we can take a risk here because it's just on the streaming service.
Feige's not looking.
Yeah, like I kind of honestly, I feel like that is part of it. I think they just go, oh well, we can get away with it here because they're not paying any attention to this. It's a multiverse stuff, and who knows? Maybe they will. I think a lot of it depends on the next couple of years with Spider-Man and Avengers and whatnot, and how they do and whatnot. So, how did this episode? I think I'm missing something. Oh, Thor does wake up. Everything's going around. Thor does eventually wake up. He has a big fight with Scarlet Witch. He's shooting powers and whatnot. He saves everybody. Christens Miss Marvel an Avenger, but does the sacrificial play, and then he is presumably dead. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you guys think their ship, that like circle disc thing with like the cockpit in the middle, do you think that would be like aerodynamic? Like, would that thing fly well?
I think so.
In this world, yes. In our world, I don't know. Because in this world, there's so much stuff, right? There's an Infinity Gauntlet, so I'm sure they've done anything. But in real life, I don't know. I'd have to see some schematics, you know?
It was a weird design. It looked very Star Wars-y to me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think they missed an opportunity because I swear it's the Grandmaster's party ship, and I thought when they were gonna like hit the button and send us like super speed, whatever, and then Shang-Chi hits the button, I thought we were gonna get "It's my birthday." I 100% thought we were gonna get that, but it didn't happen. The ship just stopped.
That was also super silly when Valkyrie's like, "Go ahead, Kamala, hit the yellow button." But then when we actually see that shot, like there is like multiple yellow buttons. Like, how would you know? How would you expect that she knows which button to hit? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the yellow button we didn't know about. But yeah, this episode ends and we go on to the next one where I can't remember where it is, but I'm just going to start with this 'cause it's somewhere in the middle there. Maybe it's the end of 3? No, it is at the end of 3. I thought it was the cliffhanger when they finally go up to space, call the Nova Corps.
That is the cliffhanger.
Yeah, Nova Corps is like, actually, no, we're not going to save you. There's a reason we're sitting around here is because you guys are in quarantine, and if you come any further, or if you don't remove yourself, we're going to kill you. And that's how episode 4 ends up by they're just in that spaceship flying along trying to avoid gunfire. And yeah, I actually really liked that twist because I just thought that was almost too easy, and I just thought that's a classic. I feel like you see that in so many apocalypse horror scary movies, and I don't know, I guess it's the Satanism in me that I'm just like, yeah, that's a good one, you know, because you just think, oh, this is gonna, and then this whole time Nova Corps has just been ready to blow you away. So yeah, they don't have like an active cure. I guess they got whatever's going on with the Hulk, which I thought was I don't know. Wasn't a fan of. I could have used a different mulligan, or sorry, a different MacGuffin. But yeah, what do we think about Nova Corps not actually being the answer, but whatever's going on with Hulk being the answer, where Scarlet can't touch him, and that becomes the whole final battle. Is everyone? Actually, we'll take our final ad break, and then we'll talk about the final battle. And we're back. The final battle where it becomes everyone protecting Hulk and Scarlet Witch's team.
Yeah, I really like the twist of the Nova Corps thing because I felt like even though that was the trajectory the show was going on and that was like the plot of why we're doing all the things we're doing, it did feel like, okay, something else is going to happen inevitably. And I mean, even where this ended, like I didn't expect we were going to end with this kind of evil ending. You know, you just don't really get that typically in like anything that Disney releases, you know, like that's just not really the way they do. It's very rare for any movie really to have just like an ending kind of like this one. So as I mentioned in the overall thoughts at the beginning, this last fight kind of dragged for me a little bit. And you know, part of that is probably because I binged all these episodes back to back. If I just kind of watched one every day for 4 days, I'm sure it would have been fine. But I found myself a little uninterested in some of this fight. I think just some of the maybe choreography of it, some of the action part of it wasn't quite as exciting. One of the moments I did really love is when Valkyrie like goes inside of like that giant zombie and is like moving around under its flesh and like busts through its head. That was super disgusting and cool. So there were some good moments in here for sure, but I also felt like it kind of didn't really have an ending to it in a sense. Like that big battle didn't really have like one final
Yeah.
moment because we kind of just go into this alternate dimension thing, which I like that. But yeah, this is as I kind of mentioned the weakest of the 4 episodes for me. Other than ending is good, but yeah, there's still some good moments in there. What was your guys' like favorite action parts from that sequence?
I feel I'm trying to think because there's one in particular for comedic beat. I like that Abomination ran up on the Hulk, and that didn't go well for Abomination because this is a full different Hulk we got going on. I really like the moment where for some reason little Ant or Hank Pym and Janet were hiding in the throat of Hawkeye,
Fuck.
and he shoots them
yeah.
out. But then Blade just pops off and cuts Hank Pym
That was
right
great.
in half, and you see his like his spine and everything. So I think those were the few moments going on there. And I actually did like when, that was another moment too. I can't remember which character he cooked, but when Zombie Thor landed down and he had like red lightning, and at one point he melted someone down in the
That was
animation.
Blade.
Was it
Blade
Right,
jumped in
okay.
after his combo.
Yeah, the animation that they gave that cooking was like really cool and really different. And then they tried to get the Hulk. The Hulk withstood it, but no, I think those were a few of the ones that I enjoyed there.
Yeah. Spider-Man again, just his little,
Oh, yeah.
head hat.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Rip off. That's nice. And again, I liked when he with Hank Pym and Janet was just like with Hank, he was pulling like shoot the web on his fist and pulling, it was like boom, boom, boom.
Right,
like,
yeah.
His big form. So that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And then yeah, like, did you have something to say?
No.
I will say to that point when we're talking about Spider-Man, that was great, and it was great that he was telling that story and he was one of the main characters. But for me, and maybe there's someone, no, there can't be because it's TV shows and they do Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That's an 8-episode show. If they went, hey, we're not gonna make this a movie because Spider-Man's in here, make him a bigger character. Make him in there the whole way through. Make it somehow that he linked up with Kamala and Kate Bishop. Like it's Spider-Man, and it's not Tom Holland. I would understand. It's like, hey, it's Tom. Very expensive. Just put him in this, but it's not. It's some guy doing a Tom Holland kind of impression or a variation of it, right? So I liked that big moment, but I wish. I guess those two, because Taylor brought up the one with the punching or stuff. I like that, but I wish he was in there more. Even episode 3, I thought he was going to take over as the lead, but yeah, episode 4 kind of ends in a weird. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you don't see him die either. It's implied because like time's slowing down. And he's just like, it's just way he has his costume on with his head. It just feels like he's a little candy that's just gonna pop in this big zombie's mouth. Like,
Yeah. That was the other thing too. I also felt like we didn't get much with Scott Lang and Paul, and that was still Paul Rudd voicing him. And I felt like there was like a big moment that I really enjoyed with him. Which I felt
Right.
like in the original What If that was very fun. That was a good dynamic. Maybe because there's so much going on, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but then they get to this point where hey, you can't touch Hulk, and then there's something where isn't it Wanda and Miss Marvel kind of touch him at the same time, right? So there's like a bunch of just like stuff swirling around going on.
A lot of ambiguous
happened?
energy happening
Yes.
for sure.
But that's what happens where, of course, what would be the case. Everything blows up. We don't know the state of it, but Miss Marvel's back to regular world. No zombie invasion. Kate's there. Riri's there. They're getting milkshakes. Lots of quick cutting, editing on the dream the milkshake and words being
Crazy.
said. Yeah. But then she starts to see little flickers, everything. And then there is, like we talked about earlier, Riri's fighting a bunch of zombies. Like, don't believe it's not real. And then it kind of cuts to black with maybe Miss Marvel realizing, oh, I am not where I think I am. And there was no post-credit stinger. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if this was a confirmed 100% season 2, I'd be fine. But as of right now that I don't think it's going to happen, I really wish just maybe the heroes won here. Maybe you could leave some sort of cliffhanger. There's still zombie there. But I don't know. It almost felt too much like you have to see the next part, and I don't think we're gonna get there. So maybe I'll
Yeah.
change my thoughts in the future. But I didn't love the ending. I was even expecting some sort of post credit, and that didn't happen. So I don't know.
I was surprised with no post credit for sure. I think the only change I'd maybe make if this is the last thing we're gonna get of this, which is possible, is I think I would have just taken the Riri part out of that and just straight up had it like, yeah, you
I
fucking
agree.
lost, and there's nothing you can do about
Yeah.
it. But this makes it seem like there's a glimmer of hope, and that Kamala's like, moments away from snapping out of it, and then like, I don't know. Like, is she still there in that location with Scarlet Witch, or did she actually get teleported to another area, like to where like this, her and her friends would hang out? I guess in New York, presumably. Like, was she in New York and then having that vision, or was all of this was this like 2 layers Inception deep of a vision still happening on the battlefield there? And like, presumably, when Kamala breaks out, it'll still be on the same battlefield.
I don't know, because it's kind of awkward if Riri just showed up at this last battle, and it didn't even look like that battlefield. So
Yeah.
I wonder if it's some situation where Scarlet Witch, because she said she was the chosen one, can't kill her, so she has her kind of submerged somewhere in some weird mind trickery stuff. So that's what I'd say. Is they're at a different location.
I'd say the same. Yeah, it looks different.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, like, what else we're seeing that, like, isn't actually real, Like, I kind of feel like, it showed us, it was trying to be pretty obvious about it, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Where some of these other character deaths, like, not happening because it was just, like, some fake Scarlet Witch dream world kind of thing. It gets a little tricky, but I don't know. I like it, but also it's quite ambiguous. So if this is truly the end of it, it maybe needed a little couple tweaks on the end of it.
And I agree with you too, as far as if it's going to be ambiguous. I'm always fine with like Inception. I'm fine with did the bad guys lose? Did they win? Is this vision real? Whatever's real, then I think take out the Riri thing, because the Riri thing kind of confirms that this is 100% fake, right? Because maybe make some argument that they did win, but because Miss Marvel went through it, she still has those visions of the zombies, right? So it's one that thing. Imagine if you did win, but it is like a PTSD that doesn't matter wherever Miss Marvel goes. She's always seeing flashes of that old universe because she lived through that and she has the memories. So I think there's fun stuff you could have did in there. So yeah, I agree with you. Just cut out Riri, and I think that would have been better. Even though I like Riri. So anything else that we missed here?
I'm done.
Okay. I'll go first because I'm probably the lowest. I will give this a solid 7 out of 10. Enjoyed it. We'll watch again in the future. Didn't absolutely love it. I think it's kind of like a mid-tier Marvel's ranking for me. Like I said, may want to be a little bit better. I think talking about it, I did enjoy it a bit more than I thought that I did when I originally finished it. I did kind of watch it in 2 chunks. I watched it in the morning and a bit later on in the afternoon. So I'm not sure. Maybe it would help watching it all together. Maybe it would be better just to watch it 1 week at a time too, like you said earlier, Dylan. Maybe that would have been the better way. And then, but it is just like the runtime of a movie, right? It's like 2 hours, so that does fit there. So yeah, a 7 out of 10. Still really enjoyed it. Was maybe just hoping for. I appreciate the concept. I appreciate a lot of the characters they brought back and the storylines. I appreciate that they did go really like a lot of gore. I just think the tone could have been a little bit different, a little veered off from regular What If or even regular MCU at times. But yeah, that's where I am, a 7 out of 10.
I'll jump 1 simple point up to 8 out of 10.
Nice. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go a full tenor here. 10 out of 10.
Ooh, you dirty dog.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I had a really good time with this episode. Or with this show, not episode. Yeah, and I'm very much excited to rewatch it because it was a good time, and just the gore and the deaths and everything that they did. I was not able to keep up to the craziness of this. So, season 2, I can't wait. You can get a little saucy over
Somebody
there,
was
Travis.
smoking. One of the neighbors is having a big hit out there. I would say just temper your expectations on the season 2. I'm with you. Hoping for it. That'd be great. Sure. But don't. I wouldn't say don't expect it. It's I don't think anything's. I think you can expect more X-Men, more Spider-Man. You expect Wonder Man in December, Taylor. That's our last MCU thing. Yeah, which I'm sure they're gonna drop binge and everything, and then. Yeah, do you guys, Taylor, I know you were watching, did you ever finish Ironheart?
No.
No?
I can't remember how many episodes in I am, but
I
I
watched half
will
of it.
finish it. I will finish it.
Okay, because we got that, and then actually I still have to. I've not watched the Eyes of Wakanda one, or the Wakanda,
No, I haven't
Wakanda
either.
Yeah, me
Forever,
neither.
so we got a couple things to finish up before the MCU Golden Geeks, but that's next year. Which I don't know what we're gonna do. I guess we'll have to see for next year, because right now it's just Spider-Man and Doomsday. We'll have to see how many TV shows we get, because maybe we'll be sunsetting the
97? Another season of 97 coming out?
Yeah, they haven't said when, but yeah, that could be it. But I think if we get to a state where Marvel only puts out 3 projects, we'll do Golden Geeks, we'll sunset it. but that would probably be the end of that. We did start that when we were getting like 10 shows every month, and it's like look at all this stuff, you know. So
Different time, yeah.
maybe what we'll do is we'll do it up until Secret Wars. I think that'd be good. And then with the new era, we can do
Every
like,
phase. We could do a golden.
yeah, that would actually be fun in the future. Yeah, the phase, because we do always our phase rankings, right? We always do like the re-rankings of the movies and characters and stuff. So that'd be a fun thing in the future to do a phase one. So, but yeah, we'll be back for Wonder Man in the MCU. Obviously, there's other Marvel news and stuff that's gonna be happening. Next year's gonna be after that. Great, we got Avengers, Spider-Man, Marvel Wolverine, maybe Captain America and Black Panther Hydra game. Is that gonna happen? Right, Dylan? Is that happening?
Apparently that's coming out next year. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is it coming out though? That's the thing. Like, is it? I've seen a lot of people worried it's not gonna make it. I think it's gonna make it.
I'll
but-
say yes. I'll say
Well,
yes.
there you go.
Yeah.
Until then, won't be boring.